right, here we are. It's Wednesday, and it's time to waste some time. What do I usually say? Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I think that's what it is. I am Jason Green. Forgetting my own taglines, even though when I started this, I said I wouldn't have stupid taglines. This might be a surprise to some of you, and for the rest of you, you know that normally Wednesday is the day I do my live show. I was trying to get out of it today. I didn't think I was going to do it. Uh, at first, I didn't want to take this vacation, but then I was convinced that I should come on here, and that some of you actually enjoy this kind of this brand of entertainment that I provide. I've had a long day of doctor's appointments and telehealth appointments. And so I'm a little exhausted. I've barely been sleeping. I've been sick, but it's the most wonderful time of year if you celebrate Halloween. Halloween season has begun, and I'm a fan, and I'm getting ready to go this weekend to the Halloween 45 convention in Pasadena. Pasadena, by the way, is Haddonfield, if you didn't know that. South Pasadena, they call it. Not really a fan of nicknames, but they like to call it South Pass. Anyway, that's where the majority of the Halloween movie was filmed. And I'm going to show you some of those Halloween filming locations for a Halloween special that we're working on closer to Halloween. But there is so much to talk about, and we're going to do that. We're going to get to everything. And if it's the last thing I do, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, people are slowly trickling in. For those who are late in the chat, please help your fellow friends and viewers and tell them to catch them up on what they've missed. Let's see what's going on here. Scott Fowler, can't wait to hear some of your stories, Jason. Well, I've got stories, good, bad, and ugly. Hello, Scarlett. Nice to see you. Lorraine, good to see you, Lorraine. Lorraine has been to more Stephen Pearcy concerts than any other living person, I think. All right, let's see. And this is Troy, and Troy is checking in from Jacksonville, Florida. And thank you. I'm glad you're here. And I know people are slowly coming, and that's why we're going to stop and say hi to a few people before we get into the heavy stuff. Sean O'Shea, thank you so much for watching. Mark's Gas Station. California Dreaming, a channel member. Thank you so much. If you're not a channel member, it's a good time to sign up. Tonight, you're going to see 2 tour diaries that no one else has seen yet. So if you want to become a channel member, you can do that. And also Patreon. I don't want to... I shouldn't be doing the advertisements this early, but there's new Patreon tiers available. We opened some. I found out they were sold out. I have to sneeze. Jesus. Excuse me. Hello to Lisa. And let's see who's here. Maybe, just maybe, Johnny will be on tonight. I wouldn't hold your breath. Okay. Hi, Monica. Monica is joining us from Surprise, Arizona. I like Surprise. I like Christmas also. Halloween time. That's right. We're going to talk a lot of Halloween today. So if you don't like Halloween, maybe it's not the show. But if you'd like to hear about my medical issues, you'll enjoy this episode. Jason, thank you so much. And thank you for being a channel member. Lisa, happy hump day. I forgot it's hump day, but I will begin humping any second. Lorraine is celebrating spooky season. Mark Sanchez. Last week I said, please, if they have Universal Monsters lottery tickets in your area, send them to me. Mark, thank you so much. I got your package. I'm going to do a video where we open those. If I win the big money, I have no intentions of sharing it with you, but I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you for watching. Okay. Desmond, hello, Desmond, long-time viewer. Halloween is the only time of year you can be anything you want. Well, I'd like to think every day's like that. Scott, good evening and happy Halloween season. Thank you. This is J. Lee Smith. What's up, Jason? Can't wait to see you at the Arcada Theater. Who's the opener? I do not know. Local thing. I'm not sure. So you'll have to check with your local listings. Hey, Dave Balls is here. Good to see you, Dave. I'm going to put out a Halloween Funko Pop. Give some portions to charity. I have a big. I thought of this because Dave has one of two. There was only two that were made when Johnny cut my hair, the short hair one. We're going to do a whatnot auction. It's going to have some Halloween memorabilia, all spooky items, and plus my limited edition Hollywood Halloween Pop. Lots of tongue twister. Jason, good to see you. Hey now. Mitch says he's leaving Eddie Trunk's show and wasting some time with me. Well, you have to start with the opener, and then you work your way up to the big time, the main event, right here. We're having some fun. Here's Mitch, and I got a lot to tell you. Trust me. Is that a Bob Lazar UFO pic on Steven's wall at home? I would say yes. Yes, he likes you. I was thinking, no, the band UFO. Yeah, Steven did sing with Michael Schenker on a new record. He did a song. I think this is public knowledge. Axl Rose, I think, is on it. A lot of other famous people. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we reconnected with Michael Schenker on the cruise. Mark Sanchez, thank you so much. Johnny, Boston Massacre recreation was funny. It was incredible, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. Jake, the curved steed. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Jake Steed, he's back. It's hard to explain. And hey, Jay Lee Smith, thank you for becoming a Patreon. Yeah, I'm gonna. So when you become a Patreon, you get these pictures that I'm gonna sit and sign. A welcome letter. I do it myself. That's why it takes so long. And then you're gonna get some guitar picks. We're working on some new ones too. Cool guitar picks. I have a problem with my hand that I'll tell you about in a little while. Everyone's waiting to find out what's happened to me and why I can't play guitar right now. B, thank you. B is a loyal supporter, also really been supporting the channel for a long time and just too generous. So thank you, though. Thank you for being here. Is Steven a UFO enthusiast? Yes, he is. Unidentified flying objects, not the band. Lorraine caught the tour diaries. Fun to see the one from Foxborough. I forget where we are, but Lorraine is in, I think, the one that's out right now. Lorraine, I think you're in that one. I think. Julie's checking in from Pennsylvania. Well, hello, Julie. How are you? Nice to see you. Glad you check in. We'll get a few more people and we'll get the show going. My Halloween season is in full gear. Listen to Danzig for a week. That's a good way to celebrate Halloween. Can I tell you my favorite Matt Dillon story real quick? I suppose if you type it, I've got some Matt Dillon stories myself, but if you type it out, yeah, we can talk about it. Michelle, thank you for being here. Todd is happy to see me back. Brian Kirk, thank you so much. Another generous supporter of the channel. Great to see you. And Eddie's show was weak tonight. Terrible audio. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Eddie is a professional broadcaster. He has 40 years in the industry. He'll tell you that himself. So I'm surprised. Maybe it was the other guys, the comedy team. Okay. Good evening to me and Bitsy. Bitsy is sitting right off camera. She had a lot of food this evening. I have to bribe her to stay quiet during the show. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Lorraine is in the current episode. I have been editing these constantly, so there's a lot more. Okay. We got through the hellos. Now let's get down to, I'll tell you what's going on in my life, and then I'll tell you about tour diaries. I'll tell you about what's coming up and all those things. And then I got to get the hell out of here. So we came home from New Jersey. I did a show already where I talked about that. It was called Burying Hatchets. Resolved some past things with Todd Kearns and also Phil Lewis. And I tell you what, I felt good. I felt good burying hatchets. I felt good telling you about it. Sure, there's people you're going to meet in your life that there is no reconciliation. Sometimes people are just too far gone. But if you can meet people, it's cliche to say life is short. It is. Then enjoy it. And so I'm happy to be on better terms. Most things really don't matter. So that was the last show. All of a sudden, I started to feel ill. and everybody I knew was coming down with something, and a lot of them came down with the big C, and I thought I had it. I was pretty positive I had it. I had a headache like I had never felt before in all of my life, which is a lot. I've had a lot of headaches. I just was in pain, and I had a cough and my throat, and I had a really bad pain in my chest, and I had shortness of breath. And I said, "This is it. I finally have it." And I took the test, and nothing. And I said, "No, this is it." And a lot of my friends had it, and yet nothing. And so, as usual in my life, I was negative, and didn't really know why I felt so bad. But I was tired, exhausted. But my sleeping schedule was awful. I couldn't sleep at night, and I was depressed. I don't mind telling you folks about my life and my being. This is cheaper than therapy, but yeah, I was depressed, and I have nothing to be depressed about. My life is pretty good. My cat got a ninth chance at life, eighth chance. I don't know. Couldn't believe it, and I got a nice people in my life. But things get hard sometimes. I got a great gig, by the way. Also, I love to travel. Although traveling can screw you up when you're home. I'm constantly checking my phone to see when's the lobby call and when. And tour managing is a full time thing. It's not just, oh, now we go on the road. No, you have to book everything. I've explained this. A lot of work goes into it. I also book the flights. I do what five people would do. I do it. I'm a whole organization, and I like it that way. So anyway, I, uh, I finally had time to get some doctor's appointments this morning at 7 a.m. I had a telehealth appointment. When that appointment was over, I had to do an interview with Brian Damage Forsythe from Kix. Came on and he talked about Kix's final show, his thoughts on it. Did he want to stop? What's he going to do next? He also talks about a health condition of his own. I believe it's the first time he spoke about it publicly. And it's an interesting story. Anyway, so that's coming up. And then I had to run out to see a hand specialist to see what's wrong with what is my alleged trigger finger. And I read this article that said type 1 diabetics are at high risk for trigger finger. Who the hell would have ever thought that? Well, it was true. And I went in, I saw an incredible doctor. Can't remember his name, but he was great. He was I see enough doctors where a good one makes a big difference. And we did x-rays of my hand, and it was, as most things in my life, again, negative. But I cannot make a fist. And he made me make a fist. And then it kind of gets stuck. And then he gave me a carpal tunnel thing. He kind of smacked me around a little bit, poked my fingers. Anyway, he told me that he was going to, for anyone else, he would have given them a cortisone shot. Do I have someone? Why am I? Someone's comment stuck on the screen? On my TV, it looks like there's a comment. Hold on one second. Let's see here. I don't know why I'm seeing. How am I seeing on my screen? Oh, hold on, folks. I have a monitor over here. All right. No. This when I'm watching, I think I'm seeing the live comments. I think that's what it is. Okay. Who the hell knows? I apologize for getting distracted. I see a shiny object and it's off to the races. So he said, I'm going to give you a cortisone shot. But he goes, I can't because you're type 1 diabetic and a cortisone shot could set your blood sugar up so high, ketoacidosis, that you could faint, go into a coma on your way to the elevator. You could reach over 500 to 800. And so you cannot have a cortisone shot. He said the other thing we would recommend is surgery. Now, that's the last resort. He did point that out. But he said, what do you think your blood sugar is right now? I told him, I think it's 180. He seemed shocked. I'm going to tell you that 180 is low for me, unfortunately. And he He said that they would turn you away for surgery. You would not be able to get surgery with your blood sugar that out of control. It's very rare I can keep it in control. You've heard me complain about the healthcare system in this country many times. Uh, there's a problem. There's a problem going on. And diabetes is an awful thing. I don't wish it on anyone. Well, maybe one person. But so he said, I'm going to send you to a hand person who's going to stroke you and massage you and jerk with wax and other stuff. Sounds fantastic. And they said, you come back in 2.5 months on December 13th. I thought, oh my God, 2.5 months is December already? I got to start Christmas shopping. Where is time going? So anyway, I'm lucky that so it's a tendon and my blood sugar did something. It sucks. I want to be able to use my hand better. But so anyway, that was that. I did point out that when I went to my telehealth appointment this morning, they decided that what's wrong with me, and it's been wrong with me a lot, goes with being diabetic, is I have a sinus infection in my face, my sinuses, and I have a upper respiratory infection. None of these things are contagious. Just if you're scared that you're going to get it over the internet, through your TV, through your phone. But I'm fortunate that I was able to get a pneumonia vaccine because usually you can only get it if you're over 65, but if you're type 1 diabetic, you can. This could have easily turned into pneumonia, and thankfully it did not. I would like to welcome a new channel member, and it's Landon Duvall. Landon, thank you so much for signing up and being a member. We're going to have so much fun, and you're going to get to watch a lot of cool stuff before anybody else. Lisa noticing that, and Lorraine asking how the monitor is working. Hurt just lifted my arm, not because of the monitor. The monitor is there; it helps, but I think I need to find Meals on Wheels. What do you call that? I think I need to find a service that brings me diabetic meals. I hate to say this because I got to get this blood sugar under control. When I was diagnosed, and I'm going to tell my diabetes story on another channel. Most of you guys don't want to hear this shit. I apologize, but I was legally blind, and no one could figure out what was wrong with me until my blood was tested. And for a while, Lisa, I'm sorry to hear about the breakup, but you're in the right place, as you know. So, got to get it under control. That's really all I can say. So it's been a long, stressful day of diabetic issues and other things. Dennis enjoyed the Aerosmith apartment. I'm just putting up some of your comments, and especially the kind ones. I've got a trigger finger, but I also have a trigger finger for jerks. If people comment stupid things, boom, I get rid of them like that. So yeah, no more bullshit. Jay makes a good point. Do you think your schedule is wearing you down? I think it was, and I think I'm on a break for a little while. And I think when I go back out, I can go out healthier. I can eat better. If you watch the tour diaries, you see the garbage I consume, and then use insulin to regulate myself. I can do better, and I plan on it. October is a busy month. We have 7 shows. We meaning Stephen Peterson's band. November 3 and December 3, and then we're at it again early January. Listen, I'm grateful to be working. So anyway, let's talk about tour diaries for a second. Enough about my health. I do like to tell you what's going on in my world. So I'm behind on tour diaries. I film one for every show. Sometimes I feel like, what is the point? Nothing happened. But then there's people who you guys want to see it. So I filmed them, recorded them, if you will. And the Boston one that is out right now I really enjoy it. The one before that's good too. The one before that is from the fair. I think it's the York State Fair, and we go to see Kix. Matt Thorne and his lovely wife Ramel, and myself and Johnny Monaco. We go on rides. We have a fun time. I want to use certain words because YouTube listens. Big Brother is listening. But I go to a security briefing in that episode. We're playing with Vince Neil, and they explain what to do if there's an active situation. You know what I mean? It never seems like there will be one. Well, at Vince Neil's concert last week, there was an active situation. Now, this wasn't somebody randomly opening up on an audience or crowd. These were people who knew each other, got into a fight, but shots were fired, and Vince Neil had to stop his show halfway through the show. I wonder what it would have been like had I been there with Steven. Vince Neil's assistant, Chris, he told me that he's what he would do. He runs out, he'll grab Vince and bring him to the safe location that they found. I'm not sure I'm risking my life for Steven, but if he's watching, of course, I'm on it. Talk amongst yourselves. Sorry, I have to stay hydrated. So anyway, so that tour diary's out, and then the next one, I'm putting them out fast. You got to get in there if you want to. Don't fall behind. Then we went to Boston. Johnny and Matt and myself got lost. We went to the site of the Boston Massacre, and maybe Johnny was convinced to reenact it. I laughed every time I watched it. Every time I edited, every cut, I laughed. It's funny. Johnny is a funny guy, and he's game. It was Matt's idea. Matt said to me, "Do you think there's any chance we can get Johnny to lay down on the Boston Massacre site?" And I said, "I don't know. Let's see." And when I looked in Johnny's eyes, like the Firehouse song, I realized he was going to do it. And you watch it and see, you see, yeah, you see. So I want to get to some of your questions. I'll double back to them. So anyway, that one came out. Now I'm sending out a tour diary tonight that is part one of the scooter accident. You want to see what happened? You want to see the damage I did? It's funny, is leading up to the accident, I constantly tell Johnny, I don't think we should be doing this. I don't think I should do it. I don't think I can do it. I don't think it's safe. And wait till you see what happened to me in the scooter accident. So that's part one of it. And then part two, Patreon members, you're going to get to watch it before everybody else. And YouTube members also. Here's Landon, who's a brand new member. Hope to see you December 8th in Knoxville. I hope to see you too. I'm always around. I'm a man of the peoples. And I will happy to say hello. So and a lot of people quoting their favorite lines from the tour diaries. I enjoy that. I appreciate it when you guys find things that are quotable from any of us. This Jay liked the remark about the dinghy. I felt like maybe I beat Johnny up a little bit. Obviously, I love Johnny, and he's great on this show. It's all in good fun, and believe me, I get picked on just as much. Yeah, Mitch enjoyed that one as well. So, and of course, I see a lot of people referring to the Daisy Dukes. It was odd. It's odd. I give Johnny credit for wearing shorty shorts. He point out that Lemmy did it. Lemmy also collected Hitler merchandise, memorabilia, but I don't think Johnny's into that. So it's a good one. It's a good one. I recommend if you haven't watched it, watch it right now. The views aren't so crazy on that one. York, Pennsylvania is over 10,000. The Boston Massacre is around 3. We also go to the Cheers bar, and it's a good one. And then after that, Scooter Part 1, Scooter Part 2. I'm going to edit every single day so that you guys see the tour diaries. All the Patreon and YouTube, it all helps me. And this channel. You know, I wish I could say, "Oh, I'm just here it's for a good time." Well, and I do enjoy doing this, but it's work, and it's work in addition to all my other work. Somebody mentioned Brian Forsyth. I wanted to see the question. How about interviewing Steve Whiteman? Poor Brian Forsyth again. After they've done their final, that's when the best kick shows seen ever. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know what you're talking about. I had Steve Whiteman on the show. I don't find him to be the best guest. He was good when I had him on. No one watched it. The Brian Forsyth interview got way more views. It's one of my favorite interviews. Brian opened up about his life. Brian is active. He's not done playing. Steve Whiteman is done. That's it. He's finished. Why do interviews when there's nothing left to talk about? He's retired, and let's let him enjoy it. So that's that. Also, by the way, if you're a Patreon, you will get to ask questions of the guests. And Chris Holmes, we had a tragedy. I hate Zoom. I'm going to tell you right now, Zoom is garbage unless they want to sponsor me. And then there's a new Patreon platform. You pay a little something, I'll read your ads. By the way, if you have a band and you want me to plug your band, that's how you do it. You want me to plug your product, I'll do it. Just sign up. There's only 3 spots available on this show. You see who put Golden Robot Records on the map. Now I could do it for you. Anyway, no idea where I was going. Uh, the insulin leads to dementia. I read an article about it. So sometimes I forget things, and I like when people remind me of things because then I say, "Oh, gee whiz." Anyway, Zoom. I hate Zoom, and people overseas sometimes insist on it. Chris Holmes lives in France. They insisted on the Zoom, and it didn't work, and I don't think it recorded. And so I think we're going to do it again on Thursday. A lot of people have asked questions. So we're going to do it again and pretend that it's a brand new interview. And then maybe the other one was a pre-interview. Rebel from the waist down. Thank you for the super chat. Where you at, Blue Ridge? Any thoughts on that debacle? I did talk about that on the show already, so you have to go back to that episode. But I did discuss it. It was a nightmare. I was fortunate that we were able to leave before the storm and before the cancellations. It was unorganized. It was a joke when we were there. We got in, we got out, we got paid. But anyway, if you tune back, you'll hear more of that. So, okay. And Chris Holmes is great. He's not what you might expect. I've worked with him several times. I booked him to play in Las Vegas with Randy Piper, and then I had Steve Riley and Johnny Rod, everybody except Lawless. And he's great. He's not. He's just a kind person. Of all the people that I saw on the cruise, he was the most accessible, most friendly. He signed autographs, took pictures, met everybody, went to see every band. He was everywhere, and he's a good guy. Okay, Chris. Chris, I'm going to put you in timeout. I don't got time for stupid shit. Don't try to be funny. You know what I mean? It's if you want to see comedians, watch Eddie Trump. Not him personally, but the people on his show. I want the Thorns for neighbors. Well, maybe you don't. If the Thorns are watching, Ramel may be a bit of a busybody. I don't know if that's the word, but I think sometimes she could get a little uppity with the neighbors. I'm not positive, but I think there's been some. Jason thinks maybe it's time to just ban Chris. I think Chris is a harmful dummy. You know what I mean? I think he tries to be funny. Maybe he's a little lonely. So I don't want to ban him just yet. But, well, maybe I did. I don't know. I meant to put him in timeout. Maybe we banned him. Well, maybe he's gone forever. Oh, well. Good, it's good seeing him. Bianca is agreeing with him. I had a, is that Bianca? Oh, Blanco. I apologize. Diabetes made my eyes bad. Chris will sign up under another account. Let's not feel bad for him. I mean, he really was no help to us. Anyway, I'm just jumping all over the place. Chris Holmes, we're going to do it again. You can ask questions. And then I also interviewed Randy Jackson from Zebra. Zebra is going on 50 years together. The original lineup, they were 3-piece. First record came out 40 years ago. They're on tour. It was a great interview. It was fun. I didn't know that much about him. I know that Johnny Lawrence wore their shirt on Cobra Kai, and that's why I was interested. But anyway, so then with this interviews coming, we're back in business. I had to take some time off. Touring was tiring. But the schedule is going to go back. Mondays, tour diaries. Wednesdays, live shows. And Fridays, interviews. And there's going to be even more. And I'm going to make sure that the people who support this channel are rewarded, that you get extra content, that you get more content. That anyway. Michelle personally blocked him. I didn't even know you can do that. Well, thank you. Yes. Um, let's see. Steven playing in Dallas anytime soon? This is a tricky question. I'm not allowed to say tour dates that haven't been announced, obviously. I believe we're going to Texas. I haven't seen Dallas yet, but we're going to Texas next year, and it's supposed to be a run. So, more than likely. I can't speak for Steven, but I think that if he comes to your town, go see him. You know, nothing lasts forever, not even cold October rain. Zachary asks, will Steven announce a farewell tour before the call it quits? I'm done touring without warning. I think that when Steven is done, he will say it. I think he will give people a chance to see him. Again, Steven will address what he thinks and doesn't think. Uh, and he'll be back here soon too. Blah, blah, blah. Saw the Zebra 4th anniversary debut record in June. Randy can still hit all the notes. It's amazing. Yeah, I saw clips. I'd love to go see it too. Jason, have you ever interviewed Nita Strauss? Met her Saturday after. She's fantastic. I managed Nita Strauss. I was Nita Strauss's manager before Alice Cooper, and I met her on the Monsters of Rock cruise when she was in the Iron Maidens, and I saw something in her. It wasn't me, and I thought, let's do something, and we did something. I can't really talk about anything else. So that's that. But I think I answered it. Russell sums it all up. Jason Green rules. Well, thank you. It's kind of you. And I don't mind saying myself in the third person. Lorraine can't wait for the 4 shows. Hope the weather cooperates. So do I. I got a feeling I'm going to be stranded in some cities. York was cool. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you as well, Greg. Like I said, I appreciate everyone who watches. And people, everyone who, if you take these pictures with me, I enjoy taking pictures with you. You tag me, and I'm going to share them so that everyone can see that we met each other and that we're lifelong friends now. So, yeah. And if you don't know how to tag me, you go to Instagram. The kids are on Instagram. A guy I know, he talked very feminine. He would say, Instagram, Zaki. Zaki, I noticed you haven't been on your Instagram. Hey guys, what's going on? Instagram. Can't tell you who that person is. But anyway, JSIN_green, like the color. Instagram. Zaki. Oh, look at that. Super chat. If you're going to Halloween convention Saturday, I hope to see you there. Live to jam. Thank you. Please come over. Let's talk about Halloween. I'm ready. So, yes, I have a health issue. Yes, I'm on medicines, all kinds of medicines, but I am not contagious. Come over and say hello. I'm going to Halloween 45. I'm excited. Sean Clark. He's been on this show. He'll be back next week to recap. He also was ill, and then he's incredibly busy. He runs tours during this thing. He manages half the people there, maybe more. Represents them, agent for conventions. And Sean has a show called Horror's Hollowed Grounds. It's great. I recommend it. It's on YouTube. And he goes to locations of horror movies. Something I did my whole life as a kid. Never thought it was going to be something you film. You just go take a picture. And Sean as well. He's a great guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm going to be there with Wednesday 13 from the Murder Dolls. And Wednesday, by the way, is a great guy. We really hit it off. Stevie Rochelle from the band Tough, Metal Sludge, he told me, I think you guys would really get along. He says, you guys like a lot of the same things, and you're grown men who collect toys and love horror movies and glam. And so Wednesday and I have been in contact, and we're going to go to this thing. And I haven't asked him yet if he's okay with me filming him. I'm sure he's fine with it because me and him are going to make some ridiculous purchases. Now, I have Michael Myers Funko Pops right here that going to see how many different Michael Myers I can get to sign these Funko Pops. This is the first one, I think. And I'm showing you a few of the things that are coming with me. This is the blacklight Michael Myers. Now, you get this signed in an orange pumpkin paint pen, just so you know, if anyone is planning on going. And then I like this one. I hope there's not too much of a glare. This is called it's supposed to be a replica of a VHS tape. I don't think it really looks like that, but whatever. Michael glows in the dark. That's Nick Castle, by the way. Nick Castle should be the most famous horror icon. You know who Robert Englund, he played Fred. Now Freddy talks, Michael Myers doesn't. Story, I think, goes, I don't know if Sean's here, but the story, oh, Chris is back, thank God. Uh, the story goes that Nick Castle was friends with John Carpenter. They went to school together, I think. They were in a band together, and they needed someone to wear the mask. And Nick Castle wanted to learn about filmmaking. He went on to have quite a successful career in movies. He directed a bunch of movies, including The Last Starfighter and Major Payne and Dennis the Menace, Tap with Gregory Hines, and he co-wrote Escape from New York with John Carpenter also. So I thought, anyway, he is the original Michael Myers. This is the guy. Yes, for 5 seconds in the movie, a guy named Tony Moran, brother of Erin Moran, they pull his mask off and you see his face. That's it, though. Seconds. If you blink, you miss it. And there was other people, Tommy Lee Wallace, stunt people and things. Sean's the expert on this. But I just think I just think the guy's amazing. And where else would he be the big star but the Halloween 45 convention? I want to talk about this for just a minute because I really am excited to go. This is the website. And by the way, I'm not sponsored and no one's giving me anything. 45 years of terror, right? And there's going to be exclusives and vendors and photo ops and a pizza party and after dark and a tattoo pavilion. And look at the people you're going to get to meet. The main ones that matter are Halloween 1978, the original. So Nick Castle, Michael Myers, Nancy Loomis, that's Annie, PJ Souls. PJ Souls is a triple threat. PJ Souls is Riff Randall in Rock and Roll High School. PJ Souls was in a movie called Stripes. She played Bill Murray's girlfriend, and of course, she's in Halloween. She's also in The Devil's Rejects in a brief cameo. John Michael Graham, I've never seen this guy before. Bob, one of the best death scenes. I believe he's the first person you see Michael Myers kill. Will Sandon, that's Michael Myers, age 6. Brent LePage is one of the bullies in school, I believe. Tommy, I think it says. I'm not an expert on all this. Sandy Johnson is Michael Myers' sister that the young Michael murders. Erwin Yablans is an executive producer, and then you get Mickey Yablans, who I believe is related. He's the kid who bumps into him outside the school. And then all these people, there's Tommy Lee Wallace, who also directed Halloween 3, I believe. Rick Rosenthal directed Halloween 2. There's Dick Warlock. That's Michael Myers in part 2. To me, this whole convention is about Nick and Dick. There's Lance Guest, The Last Starfighter. He was also in one of the Jaws, one of the bad ones, like 4. Leo Ross. In 100 years, and anything. I'm excited. And all these people. And then you keep going, and you get to Halloween 3. Now, listen, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Michael Myers isn't in it. It's not really a Halloween movie other than the title and maybe a mention of Haddonfield or the movie on the screen or whatever. I don't know. Sean's the expert. But Stacy and Tom, these are the main stars. Halloween 3 and these other people as well. And then Tom Morga, I think that's Halloween 4 or 5. 4. George Wilbur was also Michael Myers. He passed away. And Kathleen Kinmont, her and Danielle Harris were great in Halloween 4 and 5. And you're looking at some of the other people. At some point, you're going to get down to this, which is the Rob Zombie Halloween. I don't participate. I'm not really a fan of Rob Zombie movies. I'm going to be honest. I like The Devil's Rejects, but everything else is not my Halloween. So, but Malcolm McDowell is going to be there, and I do have some Alex DeLarge, is that his name? Pops from Clockwork Orange. So Danielle Harris crosses over, obviously. Dee Wallace, that's E.T.'s mom. Cujo, if you like. Ken Foray, Dawn of the Dead, right? Daniel Roebuck is Grandpa Munster in the Rob Zombie Munsters. I did sort of like that. I will be honest. I'll give him a pass. Jeff Daniel Phillips was also Herman. Adrienne Barbeau, everyone's seen her rack. It's beautiful. She was in Swamp Thing and The Fog and other things. I feel like her and Carpenter had some kind of thing. Again, Sean's not here. He's the one who knows. James Jude Courtney is the new Michael Myers in the final trilogy. Maybe I'd get him on a pop. Maybe. I'm thinking about it. This convention is going to cost me millions and millions of dollars. Now, Anthony Michael Hall. Some people are going to get him to sign Evil Dies Tonight. Not me. That's Rusty Griswold right there. I'll accept the nerd, the geek, excuse me, from 16 Candles, or I'll accept Breakfast Club. Halloween, going to be a no for me, dog. Anyway, and here's the new star of Halloween Ends. I liked Halloween Ends better than Halloween Kills, if we're being honest. And then on Sunday, and then a few people were not able to make it. On Sunday, there's a big surprise. I know what the surprise is. I can't say, but if and I might not even be there on Sunday, to be honest. I'm definitely going. Wednesday and I are going on Saturday to mix you up even further. But there is a big surprise on Sunday, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I was sworn to secrecy. B, thank you very much for the super chat. It is much appreciated. Silver Shamrock, of course. Zachary says Halloween 3 is the only good Halloween movie. I know people who take on these kind of radical opinions. I used to work in a record store when I was in high school. And there was a guy who told me, Russian guy, that the Doors records without Jim Morrison are the really good ones. And for a lot of years, I believed that there were these secret Doors records that were better without Jim Morrison. You can listen for yourself. Okay, everybody in the chat's just talking and having a good time, entertaining yourselves. Silver Shamrock. And people are talking about the tour diaries. Perfect. And okay. Let's see what else is going on here. Anyway, yes, it's going to be a great convention. Request for interview. I think you're talking about the Halloween people. Someone is guessing that the surprise is Jamie Lee Curtis. And then blah, 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 blah. Chris knows where I worked, Revolver Records. Chris, as much as I call you an idiot, and you did once say I grew up on Long Island or something, which was wrong, but I did work at Revolver Records, true. Love an interview with DeMartini. Me too. I text him. He leaves me on red. I know he sees my messages, but maybe one day we'll see Warren DeMartini. When he needed me, and he did once, he was there. And all of a sudden, we were best friends. We were buddies, friends to the end. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, anyway, so well, maybe he'll be here. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to have a great time. A lot of people like Season of Witch. Well, Season of Witch has made a comeback. People hated it when they were younger because they went to see it waiting to see Michael Myers. But now, as a horror movie, it kind of stands on its own. I met PJ Souls, Total Sweetheart. She's great. PJ Souls is, if you ever want to meet somebody cool, it's PJ Souls. Down to earth and cool. Skylar asked if there'll be a Phil Lewis interview. I would like to do a Phil Lewis interview. There's some other LA Guns related people that I've talked to. I'll tell you who I talked to. Nicky Beat Alexander. He was the original drummer. He played drums on the first record. He's kind of an angry guy. He said he had an issue with my interview with Paul Mars Black. And then he told me he would consider coming on to set it straight. And then we had a very weird conversation. And I would try to write LOL when I'm talking. Yeah, that's what the kids do. And he told me you cannot say LOL when you're talking to me because it's GAY is what he said. I don't know. He didn't sound like a pleasant person, and I haven't heard many nice things about him. If he wants to come on the show, I don't think he does. So anyway, Audrey in the Vegas Vacation flicks, The Total Fox. Well, her name is Marisol Nichols. Johnny Monaco knew her in Chicago, which is where she's from, and yeah, I'd call her a fox myself. Yeah, Chris, Chris might be serious, but it's true. Phil didn't write Ballad of Jane, but it was sure funny to hear him claim he did. Yeah, I thought the Paul Black interview was good too. If you're going to dispute it, come on. I am a fan of Duran Duran. I don't think I've heard the Dance Macabre album. I'll have to listen to it. Upcoming Halloween album. I'm a big fan of John Taylor, one of the best bass players around. And all right, so anyway, it's possible that you'll see all these interviews. What time is it? 45:07. I'm getting out of here in 15 minutes. This is a 1 hour show. I just don't look at Chris now. He's being nice. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Anyway, so we've got a lot going on the channel. We're back to interviews. We're back to tour diaries. I'm in contact with a lot of other people for interviews. And oh well, here's a question I like. Sean, was you was you a Uncle Floyd fan growing up? Ironically, I caught it on public access in the early '80s, which yeah. Anyway, I loved it too, and I did catch it in the '80s as well. Uncle Floyd, the Ramones were on it. It was this like kind of public access feeling show with filmed in New Jersey with puppets and vaudeville. Floyd Vivino was Uncle Floyd. And he kind of played the piano and sang, and yeah, and it was interesting. Will you interview Thor? You never know. Oh, hey, look at this, a convention fund. Well, Mark Sanchez, you are a kind man. Yes, I appreciate that. Convention fund. And I'm going to spend a lot of money. A lot of hard-earned money is going to go into toys. There's a whole shelf of toys blurred out behind me. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And like I said, there is going to be a special whatnot auction that you can participate in. If you want to own one of these here, Funko Pops, excuse me, signed by Michael Myers, you're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to sign up for whatnot. And if you sign up, you're going to get $15 off. And you could take home a piece of the Halloween 45 H45 convention. And we'll give you some other pretty cool surprises. Heather, did you really get into heavy metal like death metal? No, it wasn't for me. I don't like screaming and shouting and Satan. Maybe I do. It just wasn't. I no, I didn't get into it. I was way more into punk and hard rock, if you will. Betsy's sleeping so nicely. Maybe she'll make a cameo before the end of the show to shake some of you down for funny. Ticket for Ace. Well, I hope it goes well. Maybe you'll see Scott Coogan, though, of the Stephen Pearcy Band. Oh, look at this. Jimmy, this is my first live show. I totally enjoyed it. We'll be back for more. Back for more. Well said. Well, thank you, Jimmy. This was kind of an off-the-cuff one. I am going to get back to having co-hosts and guests. Next week, Sean Clark will be here. Actually, you know who else is coming on? Maybe Sean will stay on with me. Courtney Gaines will be here, who was in the movie Children of the Corn. He was in Back to the Future. He's going to come on live on Wednesday. And so maybe the two can mingle because Sean knows everything about horror. Interview Sebastian. I think it could happen. Sebastian and I are very friendly, and we had a nice chat. And I think eventually he'll be on it. A lot of people want to do it if they have something to promote. Ask Sean Clark what he thinks about Danielle Harris. Well, I have, but that's not for the show. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, so anyway, I hope to see some of you there. Go to officialstephenpearcy.com for tour dates. Oh, here's a nice gesture from, oh boy, you were so kind. I don't want to butcher your name. Tina B. Tanisha? This is probably I'm probably saying like Mike Hunt or something, or sticks it in you. Anyway, thank you. 718. Maybe you're in Brooklyn or Staten Island. 1984. Dude, savage animal. I told the story before, but on the plane coming home, there was a delay, and then they finally said, all right, folks, I think we're ready to rock and roll. The captain announced it, and Sebastian looked up with his sunglasses, and he went, dude, what did he say about rock and roll? And yeah, I'm a fan. Do you collect NECA horror? I keep buying so many. They're great. I think they're incredible. They're a little expensive. I do have a lot of the original sideshows. I sold a bunch too, though. I'll be honest. Sometimes I got to move stuff to bring in new stuff, and behind me, I mean, I have so much stuff. Some of these companies need to give me affiliate links to promote their jazz, if you will. All right, we're down to 9 minutes. So if you have anything pressing, now's the time to press it or ask it, and then maybe we'll have Bitsy come in and say goodbye. And yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground. Um, I'm sorry that I didn't have anything prepared, and I'll be honest with you. I need to dye my hair. I need to lose some weight. I need to all kinds of things. You know what I mean? It's difficult. And nobody wants to look at themselves all the time. Maybe Eddie Trunk, but he's got a whole thing, But me, I don't want to. I don't know. Rachel Bowen interview. Maybe let's get Sebastian out of the way first. Are you going to do some Hollywood Halloween theme shows? Yes, there's going to be a Halloween special, Halloween theme. We're already planning. Jakey Lee was at a club here. Where are you? Right there. Jakey Lee was in a club here the other day, and he is fine. He was with Sebastian Bach. I mean, I don't think they're together, but they were there. Someone enjoy my bass. Thank you. Is there any ever chance we see Donnie and Chip back together? I mean, I don't like to ever say no, never. I think those bozos could work it out. They need it. Chip needs Donnie. It's stupid. There's no enough's enough without Donnie. So that's that. Yeah, a Bitsy appearance fund. That's nice. Yeah. Usually we do the kibble fund to buy Bitsy some kibble. By the way, I bought her $40 worth of the finest kibble yesterday. So thank you for supporting. Any news on Vito Bratta? He's not playing music, but that's about it. But sometimes he shows up in tips. Glad to see Matt enjoys sightseeing and be on camera with you. Matt's great. Matt is great. Everybody knows he's nice. He's down to earth. He's funny. He has a really good, dry sense of humor. And when Matt and I first started going to places, one of the episodes we go to the mall together. I told him you don't have to be in this. Nobody does. In one of the upcoming tour diaries, you'll find out who said they don't like the tour diary. He was in the minority. But a lot of people don't like what they can't do. But anyway, Matt was supportive and wanted to be in it. Wish Donnie Purnell would have been in the final show. I asked Brian Forsythe about it, and it's you'll hear out. Trickster's got some controversial things going on. Pete Loran will be here soon. He is the singer for Trickster. He has assured me he will come on. He is also waiting for something to promote. What is the deal? Was the deal with Johnny's shorts? I don't really know. He likes them. He's comfortable wearing them. And some people believe that maybe Johnny should have rainbow socks or soaks as merchandise. That's all for Johnny. Wayne says he loves the tour diaries. Thank you so much. Jason, Johnny, and Matt are the three Migos of the 21st and a half century. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate that. We have a nice time. Dr. Paul is stepping in. Dr. Paul, you're a little late, but glad to see you. And yeah, well, we're down to 5 minutes. Yeah, Randy would like to see a poster of Johnny LaMonaco at the Boston Massacre photo shoot. Yeah, maybe it could happen. Johnny could sell it on his site. Love the tour diaries. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. There's a lot more to come. I mean, I'm considering doing the tour diaries every day again. When I was on the cruise, I put them out every day. I've got to catch up. I've got to catch up. Like I said, I've also been under the weather, so to speak. Blanco says he heard Rob Halford may have liked Monaco's outfit. It's definitely possible. What's your favorite of the John Carpenter films? My favorite John Carpenter film would be Halloween. I'm not the biggest John Carpenter fan. To be, I know it's sacrilege to be going to the Halloween 45 weekend. Sometimes I think he got lucky. I don't think the original Halloween movie is so much of a masterpiece as it was a masterpiece to us at a certain age and time. And it was scary then. It seemed like it could happen. Um, I've seen the other movies. Yeah, I think they're all okay, but there's nothing that. Escape from New York would be my next favorite. I saw it in the theater when I was a kid. The nostalgia, is for me. Okay. Julie says if she's got me if I need an editor, and I probably do. Thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. Did you ever meet Devonshire? It's a good question. I believe I did. I met her outside of the Hustler Hollywood store with the late Ron Jeremy, and yeah, I was a fan. Devonshire was hot. I liked her, and I liked what else did I like? Not Raquel Darrian. I don't. I mean, I liked her, but she wasn't my favorite. There was another dark. Anyway, most people don't know what I was talking about. Dr. Paul summing up the Boston Massacre as a 1770 Boston as a bunch of Karens calling five murders a massacre. It does seem a little overrated. A Big Trouble in Little China. A lot of people like. I haven't watched it in a long time. I need to watch it again. Uh, oh, Celeste. Yeah, I like Celeste. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are very kind. Uh, Christy Canyon interview. Christy is a friend. It could happen anytime. Here's the problem. Christy Canyon's a friend. Ginger Lynn is a friend. Lives here in Vegas. Right now, YouTube might be hearing those names and already flagging us. Um, I have to figure out how to do those interviews without getting demonetized or a warning. Blah blah blah. Could happen. I'd like to. I would like to do other things. My whole goal has not to been just to talk about Trickster. Well, although I'm happy to talk about Trickster. Uh, 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 I liked Joe Kelly. I'll be honest. I wasn't so into the blondes back then. Uh, Keith says he's late. What are you talking about? We're talking about a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh, Nikki Dial. Nikki Dial. That's the name I was trying to remember. I'm a fan. As Skylar points out, we're talking about uh, 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 Johnny Shorts. Holly Randall gets away with on YouTube somehow. She may have it as over 18 content, which doesn't get monetized or not very much. And she might do it like that and have a sponsor. I'll have to look into it. Are there any new bands you like? Olivia Rodrigo. I'm a big fan of Olivia Rodrigo. Check it out if you're not hip with the rock and roll, like with the kids, like I am. Yeah, a lot of people like to sing as well. Okay, I was going to tell you something. And now you guys threw me off. It wasn't about the adult people. We're running out of time. Let's see. Chris obviously is a fan of Holly Randall's show, and it's clean. Well, I mean, I could attempt to do it clean too. Um, let's see. All right, we're talking about all kinds of. We're scaring people off. I wanted to tell you something about. Hmm, I'm getting tired. I'm not sleeping very well, which is also not good for health. Well, hold on. Somebody said Jake Steed of all people says the Bellas are hot. Well, the Bellas are of age, so it's okay if you believe that they're hot, and they. I mean, I think it's okay to say that. The other Bellas. Thank you, and I will pass that on to them. Rats. Thank you, Az. By the way, Rats dance album and single came out before Motley's Girls. Did Motley steal the song idea? I don't know. I'd have to A B them, as they say. Dance was a big hit for Rat, though, and I would like to. I would love to see Dance back in the set. It's a little difficult one to sing, but I like it. Zachary got some funny stuff, and I can't share. Any Peter Steele type of negative stories. If you watch my interview with Johnny Kelly, you will see a lot of good stories. So it's on here. For a lot of you who are new, and we're wrapping up, a lot of you who are new here, please like this actual video, like actually this one. Let's get it. Let's spread it out to the world. Let's put a hash brown on it and send it to the internet, as they say, like zebra. And so spread the word. Tell a friend. I'll be honest with you. I'm disappointed in the amount of subscribers I have. I'm grateful. We have 15,400 and change as of today. I'm grateful for every one of you, but I feel like we should be doing better. I know I'm not for everybody. Sometimes this is a show about nothing, but I feel like we could do better. So tell a friend and do what you can. Let's keep it going. One last chat for. Oh, thank you for Channel J. Scrambled boob shot was the best. Thank you. I could talk about Channel J all day long. There's another channel called 16, I think it was, or something. Yeah. And do you plan on interviewing more thrash metal legends? It's a possibility. Most of those people were presented to me because I'm not an expert. Have you ever met Danny Masterson? I don't know if you get canceled for saying his name. I did. Met him a couple of times. A nice fella. Was at a poker tournament. I actually have some World Series of poker chips signed by him, and he probably will never sign anything again. I'd like to point out for the dummies who go into the comments, the know-it-alls who get upset and think they go, Ron Jeremy, he ain't dead. No, Ron Jeremy is not dead. But his brain is. He no longer knows where he is. He suffers from dementia. He's been suffering for a long time. Ron made his final appearance on stage with my band, the Sin City Rejects. And it's in the documentary. And you can see he wasn't well. And a year in the clink didn't help a guy who was so active. And so he is not officially deceased. But you will not be seeing him anytime soon. And let's see. Okay. Interview Warren DeMartini. I got it. Oh yeah, Ron. I wasn't insulting you. It's the people. I say a lot of things I say in a dry tone, and a lot of people don't get what I'm saying. But Ron Jeremy's not dead. But for all intents and purposes, he is. Let's all tell 5 people about this channel. Heather, I like the way you think. Tell a friend. Jason, who from the MTV Real would you like on the show? Well, this is it. You're asking a question that has a long answer. I was very friendly with a lot of people in the real world. I've told the story here before. I worked for MTV Viacom on the Real World Reunion, filmed at Universal Studios Hollywood. I'll be there Saturday night, by the way, at Universal Halloween Horror Nights, right after the Halloween 45 convention. But you would go with different groups into the theme park. I had the high ones, Eric Neese from The Grind, Julie the Virgin from Alabama, John Brennan, the country singer. All these people were in the group. And then I lived with Puck for a little while. I think Puck would be here on one show. Someone mentions Julie's bush. Did I tell that story? Did I say that she had a bush that would knock her Aunt Connie's socks off? Question, do I think Ron Jeremy's faking? From all I've heard and people who visit him, absolutely not. I know people who would tell me. I used to think if I went in there, he would give me the wink, but everyone says no. Yes, so I went skinny dipping with Julie, and she had a bush that would knock your Aunt Connie's socks off. I think I reached out to her on Instagram, and I think she lost my number. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I could talk real world. I could talk all my other industries. And I cannot answer this question from Jake, although I don't think that's true, Jake. The young people are different like that. This is in 1983 anymore. 227 people watching. I literally put this show on last second. I wasn't going to do it. I literally programmed it. Now, if I was professional, I'd program it a week before, and you ever meet Alan Hunter, MTV VJ? No, but he's going to be on the 80s cruise that Stephen Pearcy is going to be on. And your comment reminds me of Newhart Dry. I'm assuming you mean Bob Newhart. And I'm glad that you love dry humor. Okay, it's time to say hello and goodbye for the night to Bitsy. Talk amongst yourselves. Here, hold on. Bitsy. Bitsy, say hello to the people. These are the people who put food on your table, kibble in your bowl. Bitsy's got a little bit of a nosebleed thing, and to be honest, unfortunately, Bitsy probably has a cancer. That's what they believed. They also were ready to euthanize poor Bitsy, but Bitsy thought better of it and decided that she has more to her 9 lives. Love you, Bitsy, and she's gonna stick around. That cat has put me through so much. Thinking it's over, and then she comes back, and I always say that when it's Bitsy's time, she's 190. When it's her time, she's lived an incredible life, and then she goes on and does it again. I mean, this cat was done. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, and I thank you for thank you all of you. Yeah, Bitsy's all right. There's no more brushing Bitsy anymore. That's over. At this point in her life, I mean, she gets a brush, but her hair is matted, and she's very skinny, and it's very difficult to cut. And what are we talking about? Grooming cats now? Blah, 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 blah. Guys, it's been great. It's been real. It's been real great. I enjoyed spending time with you, and we'll do this again. We'll do this again. For Wednesday, Courtney Gaines will be here. Children of the Corn, he has a new EP out, and the Back to the Future. And then Sean Clark is supposed to be here. I'm excited. I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights. I hope to all see you there. Please like and comment and subscribe. Sounds silly, but we got to keep this going. So anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It was a fun night.